everyone, and welcome to the RPG Architect Tutorial Series. My name is Bert, and I will be your host, your tour guide, the hostess with the mostest. The goal of these tutorials is to help you get acquainted with using RPG Architect and all of its features. The engine is constantly improving. There's updates like almost every week at this point. So in time, these tutorials may be updated, but each time they will be marked with the version currently used. Today, we're going to start with your first time using Architect, complete newbie. Do people say that anymore? Definitely not newbie. You're completely new to the project, to the program, and I am currently using the 2023 June 26th version, and I am on Windows 10. There are also builds for Mac and Linux, I should mention. So, anyway, when you first open RPG Architect, you'll be greeted with this lovely little splash screen that shows off the currently installed sample projects. We got a 2.5D sample project, a 2D sample project, and a 3D sample project. Very cool stuff. You can open these up and just kind of reverse engineer what's happening. So that's a cool little feature I really like. And then over on the right side here, we got your basic stuff of, new project, open project, exit. What could that possibly mean? It means close the program, of course. We got join the Discord, where you can chat with a bunch of other people who are using the engine, figuring things out. You can also talk with the developer, Locke. He's very open to getting feedback from people, learning what's working, what's not. Really good guy. You can get to talk with him there. We got a link to the website and a link to the Wiki, which is also constantly growing and being, fleshed out, and there's new things being added to it as we get to them. So, with all that said, I'm not going to use one of these sample projects. We are going to open a new project, and we are greeted by this lovely screen. There's a lot of things to set up before you just get right into it. We're just going to start at the top left here. Project path. This is just where your project's going to be. So I'm going to ignore all my stuff here. Still ignore all my stuff here. Okay, here we go. This is where I want it. I got my RPGA folder, a lot of little test projects. I've been part of the team. I think I could say that officially. I've been part of the team for a couple years now, so I've got a few things. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to do a new folder. This is going to be where our project goes, and we are going to call it RPGA Tutorial. No, wait. We're going to call it The Greatest Game Ever Made. Bold, I know, but that's what we're doing. So, selecting this folder, we see we got the directory there. Now, moving on, we have tile dimensions. This is the one setting I want to stress. You want to get right from the start. You want to know what your tile sets are going to be, what size they are, and set it right out the gate, because all this other stuff you can change. All this stuff here you can change in the database after the fact, but this one, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So I would just say, just know what you're going to do, what you're going to build, and set it right from the start. So I'm going to set 32 because I'm going to jump down here to resource packages. RPGA comes bundled with a lot of really cool resources from some really cool people. To note, let's start off here with Final Boss Blues. Some of you may have heard of him. He's kind of a big deal in the assets community. He's got tons of packs, and he's been gracious enough to donate a lot of characters and tile sets and all the little extra things, like you can see here, like beds and signs and stairs, all the things you need, really. So you got all that right here, and this is, I believe they're 32 by 32, which is why I set that. And if not, I am gonna look really foolish later on, but not right now. Maybe not right now. Anyway, so we got Final Boss Blues. I'm gonna leave that on. We also have in the audio department some guy named Bit by Bit Sound. Okay, so that's me. I've done the songs and the sound effects that are included in the engine. I believe there's like 52 songs. I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's been a while. There's 50 something songs. There should be. And if there's not, I'm going to add more so that this is factual information. There's a lot of songs, and there's over 200 sound effects that come with this. So yeah, that's kind of neat, I guess. Then we have fonts. These are just some basic fonts you can get off Google. I think like Helvetica or whatever, however you say it. There's some basic fonts there. We have some generic assets, some from Monster and Robot, from the creators of RPG Architect. Actually, these were done by a guy named Noob. If you join the Discord, you will most definitely meet Noob. He's very active. He is responsible, or one of the guys responsible for the sample projects you see. So yeah, these assets are used in the 2D sample project. Got some other things. I think these are like backgrounds for battles and that sort of thing. And then we have, last but not least, St. Edward Games. This is a bunch of user interface things for like your dialogue windows, for your menus, and it's got some extra fonts in it as well. So I'm going to have these boxes selected, and that means when I actually hit the OK and create the project, all these will be pre-populated into my project with the data and all that good stuff. So anyway, back up here, we're jumping around, we're going crazy. We got this template region right here. This isn't really in use just yet. This is for down the line, so don't worry about this right now. We got your resolution, and again, you can set this here. It's got some, you can set a custom, set custom resolution here, 40,000. No, don't do that. You can do it, but don't. Just trust me. But yeah, you can set a custom resolution here, or you can just use some of these pre-made ones for you. Let's do 1280, 720, I guess. You can set it to be full screen when you run your test projects. You can unlock the frame rate. Oops, I bumped the mic, sorry. You can unlock the frame rate. You can set what mode you want to be in, if you're making a 2D game or a 3D, and you can see the things, sorry, you can see that these options, that's the word I'm looking for, options. Why couldn't I not think of options? They change depending on what mode you're in. So with 3D, you have these options. You have orthographic projection, you have perspective projection, you have first person mode. I'm gonna click on mine. Shameless plug right here. Just leave my banner up there. Double it, in fact. I don't know. Anyway, you have orthographic projection, you have perspective projection, and you've got a first person mode. So I cannot say that word, dude. Orthographic projection. What this does, it displays all the objects as the same size, regardless of the distance from the camera. So think of like isometric views, like a lot of the classic PS1 RPGs, like your Breath of Fires, Xenogears, Final Fantasy Tactics is another good one. If you want to make a game that kind of looks like any of those, boom, it is a great starting point. Perspective projection is where if an object gets closer to the camera, it's larger. If it's further away, it is, you guessed it, smaller. So that's really cool too, if you want it to be a bit more realistic with the perspective. And first person mode is just a variation of the perspective projection. So you know, you can't You can't click it there because it's an option for this type of projection, if that makes sense. I'm just rambling. Okay, anyway, so that's your 3D options. And again, you can change this all in the database after the fact. But then we go over to 2D, and this changes. So now we have constrained 2D rendering. We got the scale options, we've got camera distance, and we have a rendered tile size. Okay, so if I adjust my camera distance, depending on what I adjust my camera distance as and what my tile dimension is, it will adjust the rendered tile size. So if I double this, we're gonna get 320. If I do 15, it's 240. And we can adjust the scale. Constrained 2D rendering basically keeps the map inside the bounds of the window, or like centered. So if you walk to the edge, you won't see the space beyond the map. With that setting turned off, you'll see like a black border or whatever color you have set as the background. You'll see that to the side, so if that makes sense. Keep in mind, guys, I am a musician. I'm not a programmer, but I've figured a lot of this stuff out, and so if I can do it, you can probably do it. Probably. I don't know you. I don't know your life. No, I'm just kidding. I believe in you. You can do it. This engine is really robust, and once you get to learn the workflow, it's super capable. And like I said, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. So with these options set in place, 32 is my tile dimension, we are hitting OK, and boom. One quick thing to note before I go is if you come up here to this help menu, we have a link to the Wiki, which has a bunch of articles detailing a lot of the things I'm going to be getting into, as well as a link to the Discord. Until I get more of these videos out, the Discord's going to be a really great resource for you, just because you'll be able to talk directly to people who are already experienced with the engine, so do be sure to check that out. Just want to mention that those are up here, and also this little about button if you're curious what version you're using. Just click that and it shows you. Also, these links are available on the website. I'll put up a link to it in the description. I'll put it on the screen too. It's rpgarchitect.com with a dash in there, but I'll put it on the screen for you. Okay, it's very cool. I'm gonna try to wrap this up because you're probably tired of my rambling, but get used to it because I'm gonna be taking you through this engine. We're gonna learn so much. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna make the greatest game ever made. Before you go, please check the description of this video. Sign up for the mailing list to get any updates on RPG Architect, on what's going on with the engine, any updates that happen within the engine, any cool features that are added, announcements for game jams and contests, and all that cool stuff. Please also like this video, subscribe if you're not already. You know the YouTube things that everybody says, but we have to say it because that's just part of feeding the machine. You know how it goes, but if you enjoy what we're doing with this engine and you want to see more of it, we really could use your help, and all it takes is that thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let us know what kind of game you are planning to make or you would like to make with RPG Architect. Do you want to do a classic RPG? Do you want to do something like you'd find on the PS1? Do you want to do a first-person shooter with RPG elements? Do you want to do an action platformer, a Metroidvania? Anything. The sky's the limit, really, with this engine. It's that awesome. I have that much faith in it. So please, please let us know what you're planning to make and what you would like to see out of this engine. Join the Discord server, join the mailing list, leave the comment, do all the things. Thank you again so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I have been Bert. You have been amazing. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.